Welcome to Rendering Insights. In this video, we're going to be doing a dry lake style speed coupe. I love these style hot rods with the chop top and the wheel discs, and these things are slippery, man. They are just super cool hot rods. We're going to do the line work in Illustrator and then go into Photoshop again and do all our color work. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe down below. This is the drawing we're going to be doing. Well, let's get started. Okay, here we are in Adobe Illustrator. The way we started doing this drawing on this little speed coupe, went ahead and grabbed some pencils and some markers and just sketched out the general direction we wanted to do on this profile. Of course, looking at some photographs online of cars I like, existing cars, and then just kind of making something up in between. I knew I wanted to do the kind of old school split wishbone front suspension, sprint car steering, so forth, and just kind of get a general direction where we needed to go. All right, so we're going to use this as a guide, and then go ahead and grab our pen tool up over on the left there and just basically trace this thing out. I did very little variation from this sketch. So here's our line work right over the top of this hand sketch. Okay, see what we've done. I've added some scallops in here, and of course this little clearance bubble on the side, and change the way these Zeus fasteners go in here and a few things, but it's pretty close to what the original sketch was. If you're not happy with the original sketch, you're not going to like your line work if you use it as a guide. All right, I did know I wanted to use this number 56 on the door, so I went ahead and just drew this out with the pen tool actually, and then in Photoshop we'll drag this over and add color and change the size and do a few things. All right, once we have our line work done, so we can see it clear, we can get rid of this sketch, and it doesn't look too bad. All right, let's take this and bring it into Photoshop and play with some color. Okay, we have our line work here in Photoshop. Let's go ahead and make two copies of this layer down on the right. Let's take the bottom layer, the first one, and drop in all of our base colors. We'll use our paint bucket tool on the left and drop in all of our base colors on our bodywork and the grill and frame rails and so forth. And this is what our base colors look like. Again, for tires, I use kind of a dark, warm charcoal color. It varies on drawing to drawing, but it's a good color to start with. You can go with your black later on these other layers and do some shading and a little bit of highlight, and they look pretty much like tires. You start off with black and you're stuck with black. All right, there's our frame rails. We just put a gray in there, and our paint colors, and of course we did some two-tone on our scallops and so forth. And I wanted to use that real crazy red acrylic Lexan tint for our glass on this little race car. All right, let's open up our second line layer and start putting in some shading. All right, we're going to open up that line layer, and then with our magic wand tool, we're going to start selecting some of these areas, like the side of this hood side in here, the side of this cowl, door, rear quarter, and so forth, and start brushing in some black in here and start creating some shadows, develop our shape on our bodywork. Okay, this is what that looks like, that first layer with some shading. See, I kind of use this color here, this kind of dark red color here, for shadows down here, and then add a little bit of black on top. See what that does? It really makes a difference. Starting to get some shape in here of our body panels. A little bit of white down in the corner of this hood and a little bit on the roof, just to start giving some dimension to our car. Same thing on these wheel discs. Kind of start shading here with some black real lightly, and just starts giving some 3D effect on here. See what that black did on top of this charcoal color? What a difference that makes. If we start with black, there's really nowhere you can go, not well. This is the way I like to do it. And you get in tight in here, and you can do a little bit of shading just above that disc where those Zeus fasteners are there, and it just gives it the feeling that it's dimpled a little bit. Okay, and start doing a little bit of rendering, some reflections, some shadows on these Lexan panels, and a little bit on our grill. Okay, it's amazing how that thing starts to come to life already. All right, on our next line layer. Let's open it up, and we're going to do a little bit more shading just to give a little more dramatic feel on this profile. It's not a lot. We put some shadows in here in a few places. You see there's not a lot of detail in here. A little bit around these door window openings and a few little things. All right, that is the extent of our line layers with our color and our shading on our car. Because this is a race car, we're going to put some signs, some stickers, and some cool stuff on here. So on one layer, I put my stickers on here. This is what those look like dropped on. Got to take care of your sponsors, but I'm making this up so I can do pretty much whatever I want. All right, remember that 56 that we created over here? I brought that over, did some color work, and changed the size a little bit, but this is what that looks like on there. I like that. It just needs that door art. Okay. The only thing missing on the body are some top highlights. Just little things to brighten it up, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. See those? On this steering arm and on the handle and a few little things. It's not much, but I think it helps. All right, to keep this car from just floating in the air out there, we're going to put a shadow under it. So I opened up another layer below these line layers and just literally took a charcoal brush and just kind of started scribbling in here until I got what a shadow would look like on this dry lake. That's what I did. If we'd have used black on there, it would have been too dark for the shadow. But I just like this kind of gray color. I just thought almost gunmetal that it fit better. Then on one more layer, I decided to put a border on here and our crazy background. And I just combined it on one layer, and I'll show you what that looks like. I wanted the effect of that dry lake bed in here, so I used this kind of blue-gray, real light in here, and this gradation in here, which Photoshop has you can do, which is pretty cool. Pick these colors and drag it down. And then in this background, I literally took the brush tool with this brown color in here and just literally scribbled in these mountains and some darker, almost black in here with the opacity turned down, and just scribbled in the foreground on these hills just to give something in the background. There's no detail in them. They're just back there somewhere. All right, well, there's a quick look at how to render this little dry lake speed coupe. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, please check out our other videos available on Rendering Insights.